Morning, everyone. It's Softball Grandpa here again, rich alcoholic. Today is, what day is today? Wednesday. What day is today? I have a little calendar here. February 11th. February 11th, 2026. Um, Today I want to continue, today I do watch my videos and I found that I'm moving. I'm going like this. This morning I'm going to try to focus on just sitting here without moving too much. It might be a distraction. You know, there was a show on ABC uh, back in the late '80s called The Wonder Years. And it was about this kid that grew up in the '60s and '70s. And his name was Kevin. Oh, by the way, Kevin, if you want to have breakfast this morning, it's raining in Southern California, so let's have breakfast. My treat. Um, but Kevin from the Wonder Years, they portray the guy that's my age, and um, those were Wonder Years, in the 1960s. Oh, I got a cramp in my leg. Oh, sorry about that. Uh, but 1969, I graduated eighth grade. Vietnam War is still going strong, during high school, and went to 3 years of Don Bosco, and then I finished. I did 1 year at Rosemead High School, public school. That was fun. Only had to take one class. U.S. government because that was the only class that I needed to graduate. So I took appreciation for music was the first class. Second class was PE. I think I did a history class and then government. And I graduated. We were smoking the boys' room. I think they made a song, "Smoking in the Boys' Room." And that's what we used to sing. The janitors used to put these 3 pound coffee can or these big coffee cans in the corners of the restrooms. We would call them butt cans, and we threw our cigarette butts in there. So if you're for the kids, if you're smoking a cigarette butt, you know, and then you go down the Skid Row down in L.A. The bums pick up the shorties, the short butts. People throw their cigarettes down and the bums will pick them up and smoke them all the way to the filter. You know, um, but that's the life of a mom. Thank God I'm under a roof. Speaking of, it's raining in Southern California. They just put a flash flood warning out. So if water breaks through the window, that I got hit. But I don't think I'm gonna get hit. If I did get hit, then the deluge has become and the rapture has come, and read Revelations of the Bible because the world will come to an end. Um, and that we shouldn't have to worry about how when the world comes to an end. We should be prepared. So if something happened right now, you're good to go. So you shouldn't have to. So get your ducks in a row. Get your ducks in a row. Quack, quack, quack. You know the dogs. I don't think they have to worry about that. They didn't want to go out this morning because it was raining. In fact, I don't know what time it is right now, but I got up early because I heard the rain. It was raining hard. So, uh, but anyway, getting back to Rosemead High School, class of 73, 1973. The music was going strong. We used during the 60s and 70s. They had the TV shows, the Monkees. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees or the Beach Boys. We used to play air guitar, on the fireplace in front of the fireplace, listening to the console Zenith stereo. Had a turntable and had the AM FM radio in there, and it had speakers. It was pretty nice piece of furniture. You know, um, Wish I had that right now. Um, but yeah, my dad bought the stereo, and we would rock out during the '70s. We and mom and dad when they would be gone, we were blasting that thing. We probably blew the speakers out. You know, Um, but all of us, all my brothers, we would play air guitar, and put on different out. Herb Albert and the Tijuana Brass. My dad loved Johnny Mathis. Oh, Grandpa Barkson loved Johnny Mathis, you know, and I should keep trying to look at the camera too, but I don't know why I fidget so much, if anybody has an idea why I do that, let me know, or give me an idea of what not to do. But getting back to the 70s, I think I shared before that the first time I ever smoked any type of drug was blonde Lebanese hash. I guess it was from Lebanon because they call it Lebanese. And hash is like a derivative of marijuana plants, and I got really stoned. And I was supposed to be at 5 o'clock mass with my brother Tom. Oh, I got another cramp in my leg. But I came home really wiped out, and my brother was freaking out because I was so stoned. And it was the Sunday supper at the table, and I remember hearing my dad, "Where's Rich?" My brother says, "Oh, he doesn't feel good. He went to bed." And I felt pretty good, but I was kind of wiped out. And that was my introduction to drugs, and so one thing led to another. The first time I ever did LSD, it was planted in a cookie by my brother-in-law. My brother-in-law was a bad influence on me. When I was 18 years old, I was arrested 3 times with this guy, um, and yeah, it was for good days, good times. I'll tell you, But like I said before, if you're going to do the crime, you got to be willing to do the time, And probably should have got busted a lot more times, And when I was 18, my brother-in-law was a professional thief, and I worked with him for a year until I went to jail, and I saw a lot of crazy stuff, And there's things that I can't make amends for because I have no idea how to make, how do you make amends to Montgomery Wards? They're out of business. Or the Treasury Department store. I went into the Treasury Department store on Sepulveda and Hawthorne Boulevard, and I bought a little toy play set, for a table and 4 chairs, big box, and there was a 19-inch color TV inside the box. And my brother-in-law packed the box, and I would go we would cross paths in the store, and he'd tell me where it was, and I'd take a cart and I'd put it on there and go pay $20 for the box, and then hit the door, and I thought I had it clear. And I hit the door after I paid for it, and this girl, undercover security guard, comes up and says, "Excuse me, I want to see what's inside this box." And she picked it up and dropped it on the floor and opened it up. Says, "I want to know what that's doing in there, and I want you to come with me to the office." Well, you want me to come to the office? I just took the shopping cart and put between me and her, and I was running. I ran my ass off. I ran across Sepulveda Boulevard without even looking. I was jumping fences, and I had a Pendleton on, threw it off, and finally, after a half hour, I jumped another fence back onto Sepulveda, and just as I jumped the fence, my brother-in-law was driving by. He was laughing his ass off. Because I guess he almost ran me over when I was running out of the store. And because he was pulling up the car to load the car up. But that's kind of, stuff, And this guy, my brother-in-law, he was a rotten son of a bee, He was so cold back then in the 70s. They used to have the most wanted people hanging up on the post office wall. And he found a picture of his buddy wanted by the FBI for bank robbery. And And he took that picture and he sent it to the guy's mother. That's thanks a lot. Yeah, but that's I'm just sharing my history with you with the grandkids, and that's where I'm at right now at 18 years old, and I did do a little time, and we'll talk about that more, maybe not, um, but God bless everybody. Keep the faith. Do something for somebody else for fun or for free because you want to, with no expectations in return. And if my granddaughter is listening to this, I do send it to you every day. Uh, Dayla, send me. I need a microphone for my hat to hook up to my TV or to my phone, whatever you want to call it. God bless everybody.